भूषितः भुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदाता च तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः अनेकजन्म सम्प्राप्त कर्मबन्धनिदाहिने आत्मज्ञानप्रदायेन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः शोषणं भवसिन्धुश्च यापनं सारसम्पदः गुरुपादोदकं सम्यक् तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः न गुरोराधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोराधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानं परं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः मानता श्री जगन्नाथ मद्गुरु श्री जगद्गुरु ममात्मा सर्व भूतात्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः गुरुरादिरनादिश्च गुरुपरमदेवतां गुरुपरतरं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्यात्रयिनं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव जय गुरुदेवा परमहंसा विश्वानंदा जय गुरुदेवा परमहंसा विश्वानंदा जय गुरुदेवा परमहंसा विश्वानंदा Vishwananda Jai Gurudeva Paramahamsa Sri Vishwananda Jai Gurudeva Paramahamsa Vishwananda Jai Gurudeva Paramahamsa Sri Vishwananda Om Namo Narayanaya 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 Om Namo Om Namo Narayanaya Om Namo Narayanaya Jai Gurudeva Paramahamsa Vishwananda Jai Gurudeva Paramahamsa Sri Vishwananda Jai Gurudeva Paramahamsa Vishwananda Vishwananda Om Shri Vishwananda Om Hari Om Shri 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 Vishwananda Jai Gurudeva Paramahamsa Vishwananda Jai Gurudeva Paramahamsa Vishwananda. Om Namo Narayanaya, 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 Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Shri Vishwananda, Om Hari, Om Shri Vishwananda. Om Shri Vishwananda, Om Hari, Om Shri Vishwananda. Om Narayana, Om Hari, Om Narayana. Om Narayana, Om Hari, Om Narayana. Bhajo Guru Shri Vishwananda, Shri Giridhari Sharanam. Bhajo Guru Narasimha Deva, Jai Jai Lakshmi Narayan. Bhajo Guru Shri Vishwananda, Shri Giridhari Sharanam. Bhajo Guru Narasimha Deva, Jai Jai Lakshmi Narayan. Bhajo Guru Shri Vishwananda, Shri Giridhari Sharanam. Bhajo Guru Narasimha Deva, Jai Jai Lakshmi Narayan. Bhajo Guru Shri Vishwananda, Shri Giridhari Sharanam. Bhajo Guru Narasimha Deva, Jai Jai Lakshmi Narayan. Jai Guru Deva Paramahamsa Vishwananda. 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 Om Namo Narayanaya, 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 Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Shri Vishwananda, Om Hari, Om Shri Vishwananda. Om Shri Vishwananda, Om Hari, Om Shri Vishwananda. Om Narayana, Om Hari, Om Narayana. Om Narayana, Om Hari, Om Narayana. Bhajo Guru Shri Vishwananda, Shri Giridhari Sharanam. Bhajo Guru Narasimha Deva, Jai Jai Lakshmi Narayan. Bhajo Guru Shri Vishwananda, Shri Giridhari Sharanam. Bhajo Guru Narasimha Deva, Jai Jai Lakshmi Narayan. Bhajo Guru Shri Vishwananda, Shri Giridhari Sharanam. Bhajo Guru Narasimha Deva, Jai Jai Lakshmi Narayan. Bhajo Guru Shri Vishwananda, Shri Giridhari Sharanam. Bhajo Guru Narasimha Deva, Jai Jai Lakshmi Narayan. Om Namo Narayanaya, 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 Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Shri Vishwananda, Om Hari, Om Shri Vishwananda. Om Shri Vishwananda, Om Hari, Om Shri Vishwananda. Om Narayana, Om Hari, Om Narayana. Om Narayana, Om Hari, Om Narayana. Jai Guru Deva Paramahamsa Vishwananda. Jai Guru Deva Paramahamsa Vishwananda. Jai Guru Deva Paramahamsa Vishwananda. Jai Vishwananda Om Hari Om Shri Vishwananda. Bhajo Guru Shri Vishwananda Shri Giridhari Sharanam. Bhajo Guru Narasimha Deva Jai Jai Lakshmi Narayan. Bhajo Guru Shri Vishwananda Shri Giridhari Sharanam. Bhajo Guru Narasimha Deva Jai Jai Lakshmi Narayan. Bhajo Guru Shri Vishwananda Shri Giridhari Sharanam. Bhajo Guru Narasimha Deva Jai Jai Lakshmi Narayan. Bhajo Guru Shri Vishwananda Shri Giridhari Sharanam. Bhajo Guru Narasimha Deva Jai Jai Lakshmi Narayan. Jai Guru Deva Paramahamsa Vishwananda. 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 Shishaya Namaha, Om Vishamaya Namaha, Om Devakarya Samudyataya Namaha, Om Sukshmatanave Namaha, Om Chinmayaya Namaha, Om Gurumurtaye Namaha, Om Sundaraya Namaha, Om Sulochanaya Namaha, Om Sumukhaya Namaha, Om Charuhasaya Namaha, Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Padmabhujaya Namaha, Om Mandagamanaya Namaha, Om Charumbaranarine Namaha, Om Ramaya Namaha, Om Antirasapakaya Namaha, Om Shri Bhutabhrteshwarnath Namaha, Om Gayatri Ajvane Namaha, Om Arpanasvikarakaya Namaha, Om Vishnu Pujakaya Namaha, Om Namo Narayanayati Mantrapasakaya Namaha, Om Svaramayaya Namaha, Om Anturakantaya Namaha, Om Krishna Sankirtana Lalupaya Namaha, Om Stotra Priyaya Namaha, Om Mitabashine Namaha, Om Vakmine Namaha, Om Chitrakala Visharadaya Namaha, Om Ratadaraya Namaha, Om Sadave Namaha, Om Jagatpantaya Namaha, Om Sarvalokahitaya Namaha, Om Bhaktapriyaya Namaha, Om Surdaya Namaha, Om Anukulaya Namaha, Om Niyaya Namaha, Om Sudarshanaya Namaha, Om Bhaktavatsalaya Namaha, Om Premamurtaye Namaha, Om Shubhakshanaya Namaha, Om Prinsivardhanaya Namaha, Om Swastidayakaya Namaha, Om Tarakaya Namaha, Om Anugrahaya Namaha, Om Vardhanaya Namaha, Om Architaya Namaha, Om Arthaya Namaha, Om Siddhipradaya Namaha, Om Janardhanaya Namaha, Om Manoharaya Namaha, Om Mahakshaya Namaha, Om Siddheshwaraya Namaha, Om Vasvabhushitaya Namaha, Om Atmalingaya Namaha, Om Lingakshana Prasakaya Namaha, Om Siddhisadhanaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Omkarapasakaya Namaha, Om Sukshmaya Namaha, Om Vishokaya Namaha, Om Satvikaya Namaha, Om Samadashine Namaha, Om Dakshaya Namaha, Om Achintyaya Namaha, Om Niramkaraya Namaha, Om Nirmohaya Namaha, Om Avyagraya Namaha, Om Jitakrodaya Namaha, Om Vinayashilaya Namaha, Om Svamashaya Namaha, Om Kushalaya Namaha, Om Kshamaya Namaha, Om Satyadharmaya Namaha, Om Nirvikalpaya Namaha, Om Viraktaya Namaha, Om Atindraya Namaha, Om Satyasandhaya Namaha, Om Pavitraya Namaha, Om Madhurasavavaya Namaha, Om Suranandaya Namaha, Om Nandanaya Namaha, Om Prasanatmane Namaha, Om Bhaktanidhaye Namaha, Om Sukshaye Namaha, Om Samatmaye Namaha, Om Sadayogine Namaha, Om Haraye Namaha, Om Sutapaya Namaha, Om Saumyaya Namaha, Om Guhyaya Namaha, Om Vimuktatmaya Namaha, Om Gaviraya Namaha, Om Guptaya Namaha, Om Srinivasaya Namah, Om Devaya Namah, Om Jyotiraya Namah, Om Danyaya Namah, Om Gurave Namah, Om Duratikramaya Namah, Om Ganaya Namah, Om Bhagavate Namah, Om Harisharana Margadarshakaya Namah, Om Kutastha Jagartakaya Namah, Om Aviprayaya Namah, Om Sarvamata Samatyaya Namah, Om Kshamayagata Bhavavardhakaya Namah, Om Premavatara Sri Vishwananda Swami Namah. Ato Deva Avartuno Yato Vishnur Vichakrame Pretivya Sapta Dhamamihi Idam Vishnur Vichakrame Tretani Lade Padam Samudamasya Vagum Sure Trini Pada Vichakrame Vishnur Gopa Ada Abhyaha Ato Dharmani Daryane Vishnu Karmani Pashyata Yato Vritani Paspase Indrasya Yuja Sakha Tad Vishno Paramam Padagum Sada Pashyanti Surya Diva Chakshuratatam Tad Vipraso Vipanyavo Jagruvagum Sasamindate Vishnoryat Paramam Padam. Gurudevaya Dhimahi Tano Vishwananda Prachodayate Om Premavattaraya Dhimahi Sadgurudevaya Dhimahi Tano Vishwananda Prachodayate Om Premavattaraya Dhimahi Sadgurudevaya Dhimahi Tano Vishwananda Prachodayate. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvinam Kurume Deva Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsavitur Varinyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsavitur Varinyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsavitur Varinyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Shri Krishna Vishnu Madhusudana Ketavare Narayana Chita Vikrama Chakrapane Devyadi Sanchadari Sridhara Vasudeva Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Shri Rukmini Sabhavana Sahare Murare Radesha Gopisha Surupa Brahmadi Vanya Shri Dvarakashaya Vakunta Pate Bhuvaneka Murte Gopala Deva Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Lina Kriteka Patarupa Varaha Murte Trei Vikramaya Kuhane Vihurama Rama Shri Rama Krishna Yadunandana Kalki Rupa Gopala Krishna Haraye Tava Suprabhatam Govinda Madhava Mukunda Parataresha Damodara Chadarananda Kadari Shori Gopa Gopi Jana Samrita Dina Bando Gopi Jana Priyare Tava Suprabhatam Shri Radhi Sai Bhujagari Patapa Shayi, Sadbhakta Sadana Shayi, Brahmanka Shayi, Shri Gopavama Mridutapa Sugadi Shayi, Gopavana Vare, Tava Suprabhatam, Shri Kashyapatra Shukanara Gautamadi, Brahmashi Sangamali Sangama Bharatesho, Nishtanti Deva Tava Darshana Bhagya Heto, Gopala Shekarare, Tava Suprabhatam, Mandara Jari Tulasi Dalamari Kajare, Mayani Anjali Pute Samudaharanti, Tishtanti Papa Vatadara Tale Munindra, Radha Manohara Hare, Tava Suprabhatam, Vedatrayam Patati Gautama Kana Gubhya, Gayanti Sadguna Gana Varadasa Marga, Sankirtayanti Tava Nama Kada Vishesha, Shri Naradazi Rishaya, Tava Suprabhatam, Govardhanodharana Gopa Kishora Gopa, Gopi Janamrita Suvesha Bhavati Pota, Trilokya Mohana Sumangala Jivya Deha, Shri Rukmini Savarada, Tava Suprabhatam, Shri Vatsa China Sharanagata Parijata, Bhaktati Vanjana Kripakaratina Bando, Daityanta Gayati Jatam Priya Divya Rupa, Shri Nanda Gopa Tanaya, Tava Suprabhatam, Padmaksha Padma Mukha Padma Dara Prameya, Padmalaya Sravita Padma Nivasa Shori, Padmo Bhavati Sura Sevita Pada Padma, Padmadinata Haraye, Tava Suprabhatam, Vrindata Devi Haranaya Marendra Vansya, Kandar Padarpa Haratinya Sudesha Rupa, Chandrana Naya Sita Chandana Lita Deha, Govinda Yadava Hare, Tava Suprabhatam, Shri Nanda Nandana Yashoda Kumara Zira, Mayanga Zina Darichona Sapushpara, Ilambudasa Sharira Ramavihara, Gopala Deva Haraye, Tava Suprabhatam, Shri Vashri Janmavati Satya Sukati Bhagra, Shri Mitra Vinda Divasa Prabhu Putra Kate, Tishtanti Divya Pavameta Vasevanadam, Gopi Manapriyare, Tava Suprabhatam, Shri Krishna Achyuta Ananta Mukunda Shori, Radha Manohara Janardana Chakrapane, Namani Divya Munayurta Nishamvadanti, Brahmi Muhurta Samaye, Tava Suprabhatam, Shri Krishna Suprabhatam, Vepatatya Isham, Gori Krita Mahapapa, Shri Krishna Grahare Purukam. Ishvara Paramahamsa Sachitananda Vigraha Anadiraja Govinda Sarva Karana Karana Govinda Mati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govinda Mati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Chintamani Prakara Sadma Shukarpa Viksha Laksha Vriteshu Suravira Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrava Sevyamana Govinda Mati Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govinda Mati Purusham Tamam Bhajami Vedum Padantam Aravinda Lalaya Taksham Bharavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpa Kotika Maniya Vishesha Shobham Govinda Mati Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govinda Mati Purusham Tamam Bhajami Alola Chandra Kala Sattva Namarya Vamshi Ratna Gadam Pranaya Kiri Kala Vilasam Shyamanti Bangala Vitam Niyata Prakasham Govinda Mati Purusham Tamam Bhajami Govinda Mati Purusham Tamam Bhajami Angani Yasya Sakadendriya vritti mansi, pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti, ananda chinmaya chadujvala vigrahasya, Govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami, Govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami, Advaitam achyutam anadi manantarupam, Adyam purana purusham navayovanam cha, Vedeshu durlabam adurlabam atma bhakto, Govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami, Govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami, Pantastu koti satavatsara sampragamyo, Vayoratapi manaso munipungabannam, Sopyasti yaprapadasina vichitya tattve, Govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami, Govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami, Ekopya sarachayatum jagadanta kotim, Yashaktirasti jagadanta chayayanantaha, Andantarasta paramanu chayantarasta, Govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami, Govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami, Yad bhava bhavita diyo manujastateva, Samprapya rupa mahima sanayana bhushaha, Suktevyameva nigama pratitastavarti, Govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami, Govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami, Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavitavis, Tavirya eva nija rupa daya galavihi, Goloka eva nivasatya kilatma buddho, Govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami, Govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami, Premanjanacharata bhakti viloshanena, Santaksadeva hridayeshu vilokayanti, Shakshama sundarama chintya gunasarupa, Govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami, Govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami, Ramadi murti shukalani yamena tishna, Nanavatarama karot bhuvaneshu kintu, Krishna swayam samabhavat paramapumanyo, Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami, Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami, Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanta koti, Kotishva shesha vasudhati vibhuti vina, Tad brahmanishkalamananta shesha purtam, Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami, Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami, Maya hiyasya jagadanta shatani sutre, Trikunyatad vishaya veda vitayamana, Sattva valammi parasattva vishuddha sattvam, Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami, Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami, Ananda chinmaya rasatmataya manashru, Yapraninam pratipadam smaratam upetya, Vidayatena bhuvanani jayaya jasram, Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami, Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami, Golokanamni nijadamni tarecha tasya, Devi maneshu haridama shateshu teshu, Tete prabhavani chaya vihidaschayena, Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami, Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami, Srishti sthiti pralaya sadhana shakti rekha, Jayeva yasya bhuvanani vibhakti durga, Ishana rupamapi yasya chacheshtatesa, Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami, Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami, Shriram yatadati vikara vishesha yogat, Sanjayatena itata pratagasti eto, Yasham bhutamapi tata samukhaisi karyat, Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami, Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami, Timpam chireva nidashantaramam upetya, Dipaya Devi Vrita Hetu Samana Dharma Yastadrikeva Icha Vishnu Dayani Vati Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yakaranama Bhatadeva Jatisma Yoga Indramananda Jagadanda Saroma Gupaha Adara Shakti Mavalamya Param Samurti Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yasya Kanishvasita Kala Matavalamya Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadandanataha Vishnur Mahansarira Yasya Galavishesha Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Vasvalya Tasma Sakadesha Nishesha Tejaha Sriyam Hiya Prakadayatya Gatadadatra Brahmaya Esha Jagadanda Vedana Karta Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yatpada Pallava Yugam Vinidaya Kumbha Vandre Pranama Samaye Saganani Rajaha Vignam Vihantu Madhamasya Jagatrayasya Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Agni Gaganamambu Maruti Shastra Kalasta Tatma Manasiti Jagatrayani Yasma Bhavanti Vibhavanti Vishanti Yamcha Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yakshakshuresha Savita Sakalagrahana Raja Samasta Suramurti Rashesha Teshaha Yasya Jaya Brahmati Samvita Kala Chakro Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Dharmota Papa Nichaya Sugayastapamshi Brahmadikita Padagama Dayasya Jivaha Yada Damatra Vibhava Prakata Bhagava Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yasvindra Gopa Madhavendra Mahosa Karma Vandana Rupa Palabhajana Mata Noti Kamani Nidra Katikinta Chabhakti Bhajam Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yam Krodha Kama Sahaja Pranayati Vinti Vatsalya Moha Guru Gaurava Sevya Vamari Sajitya Rasa Sadasinta Nuna Purete Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Anadiraja Govinda Sarvakarana Kana Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindamati Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
All right, Jai Gurudev, everyone. Congratulations, you made it. Mataji's side a little stronger than the Prabhu side, as always. I want to quote from the Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 11, verse 25. This is from the rulership of King Rama, Lord Rama. And it has been after he was sent and after he returned to Ayodhya, the kingdom, and then he discharged duties to his brothers. So altogether, Rama had 3 brothers. He was the oldest one, and then you had Bharata, then you had Lakshman and Shatrughna. And so they were assigned to conquer, while Rama, he stayed in the capital. Yeah? And the verse is in this context. So it says, Shri Bhadrayani Ruvacha Adatisha Dik Vijaye Bratrum Sri Bhuvaneshwaraha Atmanam Darshayan Swanam Purim Ekshatasanugaha. Sri Sukadev said, after accepting the throne of the government of the fervent request of his younger brother Bharata, Lord Rama ordered his younger brothers to go out and conquer the entire world. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for bearing with me. After a short break, we are now returning to the satsang. So, we were saying that Rama, he discharged the duties to his younger brothers to conquer the entire world, while he personally remained in the capital of Ayodhya to give audience to all the citizens and residents of the palace and to supervise the governmental affairs with his other assistants. So here we have a situation that if we say that the brothers of Rama, they considered their elder brother, Rama, as God, which is quite natural because they were attributes of him. So we say the Alvars here, they are attributes of Narayana, but also in the time of Ram, when they came down as 4 brothers, of course this was Rama and his attributes. Yeah, for example, Lakshman was Adishesh. Yeah, and then we have Bharata and Shatrughna being the conch and the, not so sure, conch and discus, probably. Okay. So the situation is that God sends them away. Yeah, and the point I want to make, and also when you read a little about several commentaries about this verse, what they say is that God prefers those who are in action and service to Him. And today, in this zeitgeist today, it's very much prevalent that people think that spirituality is mostly to do sadhana and sit at home. So I'm pointing at myself very much also. It's a very comfortable notion that we sit there and we purify, we get purified, and you get even more purified. And when you're super pure, having sat in the room for a long time, having done our sadhana, then it is time to kind of merge into that all-encompassing love. And that is, in fact, what a lot of people that are looking and that are diving into spirituality, what they think, and also what has been delivered to them. So you have Advaita Vedanta, which proposes this, that you merge into this oneness, and the oneness may be that love or the effulgence of God. We say in Sanskrit that's Chaitanya, the effulgence of God. The splendor, let's say the the feeling of bliss that you feel when Guruji is standing in the puja kitchen but you can't see him. You feel his effulgence, but it's not the same. He's still there and the effulgence is coming from him. So here in this verse it says something different. Whenever the Lord shows himself, reveals himself, then he's pointing to that truth that he always prefers those who are actually engaged in service, yeah? Be it in proximity or not. And he very much shows it always directly. So we have Rama here, and then is the situation that after all what happened, you have the abduction of Sita, they were winning the war over Ravana in Lanka, etc. So after everything what happened, now he sends them away. And that is very similar to the situation today where we have undergone and experienced already so much with Guruji. So let's say the Springen era, it lasted for maybe roughly over 10 years. Then we have a little bit of episode of Stephanshof before that, and we have an episode of Switzerland before that, and before that we had an episode of Mauritius, the Bala Vishwananda. So all of these are episodes leading to the next episode. The next episode is now Bhakti Marga becoming global. I would see it more in a way that it becomes one ashram, very much in the spirit of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, being really one family, connected maybe online, but acting out regionally. And it's exactly what's happening now, that when we have been, let's say, a lot in Guruji's physical proximity, more or less, because people are different, but then we are being sent out to, quote-unquote, conquer the world in a way to spread his message. And every person is very different. And yet every person is with him and has their place and their potential. And now it's exactly happening that what I would see is the next big thing in Bhakti Marga is that we grow up. Yeah. And it's been said so easily, but it's not easy, because it has to do with something dying inside. And the process of dying is, first of all, to negate. No, it's not happening. It can't happen. It's not happening to us. Then it's about negotiation. Can it be a little bit longer? Can we do it differently? No, it cannot be. Please change it in a way. Extend it a little bit. Do it differently. So there's a negotiation. Then it comes the time of depression, when you really feel that something is changing and you must face it. And you have to go into a new chapter. And then comes let's say, the surrender and the acceptance, that you actually are more and more at peace and you see the goodness of what's happening. So this is what's happening more or less to us who have been with Guruji, let's say, not only living here, and it can be in any range from being with him all the time to traveling with him all the time, or to coming here to see him regularly various times over the years and see the family. And all of that is now shifting to Bhakti Marga Glowing Global. We have now a wonderful, let's say, proper online academy where you can do amazing things. You can learn a lot of things. We can inform ourselves. We have more and more regional sanghas where you have the people directly around you. We have amazing temples now. And more is coming, and Guruji is really pushing for this. So it's a blend of Bhakti Marga really becoming one global ashram. More and more swamis and swaminis, more rishis in the waiting line. And Bhakti Marga itself becoming more obvious in the way that, let's say, when I arrived, this ashram was not even vegan. I was vegan and the ashram was not vegan. I said, oh, what about all this cheese? And then I got used to cheese, and then it became vegan. And the whole purpose, let's say, how Bhakti Marga is woven, where we are going, what this whole thing is about, it was very much always only about Guruji. And that's completely fine because Krishna is that what attracts, right? That's the name of it. And yet we were completely not aware and not knowledgeable about how we could one day communicate why we're on this path and why it would matter to others. And this is growing up. And growing up is painful, more or less. Growing up has to do with going into a next stage and letting go of the old stage without, ideally, any nostalgic attachments. Because there comes a time when we accept and we see that what's happening is actually amazing. And to me personally, everything that Guruji is doing in the recent years, it started with creation of Haribhakta Sampradaya, with this emphasis on the Vittala saints, how they are naturally with God, aiming for a saint-God or disciple-master relationship in a way that we aim to flush out all the fears that we have towards God, being courageous to jump into that flame of pure love. That is very much embodied by the Vittala saints or the whole Bhakti saints movement. The whole Sri Vittal Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha is in that spirit of approaching God in a way that He is the Supreme One, and yet we are asking Him for shelter. But the shelter is not in a fearful way, but the shelter is in a loving way. And that's a very, very new spirit. I said in the last satsang already, Guruji, he texted in his tweet that mantra, the Mula mantra of our lineage now, Sampradaya, it will be valid, it will be the most important mantra for the next 100 years. And all of these things, and now brahmacharis wearing yellow, everything is becoming more and more crystal clear. And to me, it is almost like a darshan when Guruji more and more, he's revealing the agenda. Because of course he comes with an agenda. It just looks like it happens all spontaneously. He's adding a small element here, he's removing a small element there. And you look 5 years later, it's a completely different quality of what is Bhakti Marga. And some people, they can't move with it. Let's say if you came 10, 15 years ago, not everyone is around who was there around 15 years ago. So all of that has to do with actually keeping pace and keeping to move with Guruji, and not to be attached to places, not to be attached to how it was maybe 5 years ago, but to actually open ourselves more and more up to what he ultimately wants Bhakti Marga to be and what he ultimately wants you to be. Ultimately, he wants Bhakti Marga to be, I don't know, he only knows. And ultimately, what he wants us to be is to be role models. Saints, if you want. But saints is too biased. If you think of saints, people automatically create that distance and say, I cannot be a saint. It's like, oh no, I cannot win the lottery. It's only for one person out of 250 million. But that's the fear that is still there to become a saint. So I rather say to become a role model. Because if there would not have been role models, they would not be painted on the walls in different temples, including ours. So, as it is my style, I want to give 3 points that how I perceive is actually a good way to live in Bhakti Marga. Because Bhakti Marga is, in fact, a very normal thing. It's not that you come in as a normal person and become crazy, but I would say you come in as a crazy person and you become normal. And the normalcy, it expresses itself in a way of life that I characterize in 3 points. So the first one is Sangha. The second one is Seva. And the third one is celebration. Can you already feel that there is no room there for depression or party pooping? So I see it with my own depressive thoughts. I see it with my own tendencies to not go to the event all the time, to rather stay in my room and, as I criticized in the beginning, to sit silently and do my sadhana. But that's what I want to carve out. That's what I want to emphasize and make that contrast, because as the verse of Rama, it says in the beginning, he is sending us out to carry the flame of that love. Swami Chitta, he said yesterday, it's the same principle. He will, if the intention is right, if the surrender is right, if the dedication is right, he will work and speak through us. And the beautiful thing is that everyone is different, and that he will reveal himself in every person. And you have that multitude of beings. We just had a coaching session recently here for certain members of the ashram management. And I was lucky to be part of it. And there were like 10 people at a round table and one facilitator who is also a devotee. And she brought out the best out of every person. It was amazing. She did it so subtly and so elegantly, but in the end, we were all so happy to be together, so happy to be joking and being with each other. And you could see every person is different, and nobody is like the other. But we were all radiating in one way or the other that flame of Guruji's spirit. So first point, why would Bhakti Marga be characterized as Sangha, and why do I make a point about it? It's because it's not about being isolated. It's not about, if you have been isolated, like I lived very like a loner, long years. So what I'm saying actually, if you are a Sangha person, you have a bonus. If you like to be in relationship with people, then Bhakti Marga is waiting for you. It is a fertile ground for you to live. If you are not a relationship person, if you like to hang out too much by yourself, then there's work to be done. And I have to do that work. And I'm getting there. But what I want to say is, if you're a Sangha person, you easily want to blend into community. You easily live that what is called Kirtana Bhakti, that you move together like a fish, a school of fish. Then that is very powerful, because the good environment of the Sangha is always uplifting you. Of course, there's always time to always be silent. It's time to find moments to be alone in order to go back in the Sangha. But it's not the other way around, that we are in the Sangha and then we go back and spend most of our time alone. Because it's a movement. It's a movement of people. And the more and more this is coming out now, the big thing, next big thing of Bhakti Marga, us growing up, the more each one has to give to each other. And when Krishna is incarnating in the hearts of the people in the Kali Yuga, as it is said, then look around and there's just amazingness around us. So the Sangha is what people maybe don't see yet, when there is resistance in countries who don't want to build an ashram. Sangha is not always nice, but Sangha is highly transformative, and this is how Bhakti Marga is. This is how Guruji has designed it to be. That we are not isolated people sitting at home and doing our sadhana only, but that we always have the tendency to come together and have the longing to be together in a Sangha. And whether we like it or not, we have to build a center for that. So we have to build ashrams, we have to build centers and temples to create room to be together as a Sangha. And also to learn and remove resistance to be in the Sangha, to always see how good it is and that Guruji is acting through each other in the Sangha. The Sangha might kick our ass at some point also, but the Sangha is also giving you the right feedback exactly for us to, as I said, to grow up. Yeah. And then we can become role models, and it won't happen by us sitting in the room. It won't happen. It will only happen by engaging. Yeah, and this is also what I perceive what Guruji likes. You know, Guruji is a social person. Guruji is very engaging in relationships. Guruji is the promoter of the highest relationship, is to be with him in communion. So, the second point would be seva. He says, when we say we love God, then everyone can say that. And maybe 80% of the people saying that is out of, let's say, an emotional gratitude, which is good. It is, I'm very grateful. God, you saved me. God, you healed me. God, you did good things to me. God, you gave me this. You gave me that. You took away this from me. And then we are inclined to say, God, I love you. But it's not what Guruji means by loving God, you know. Is that say, even if everything would be perfect outside, even if everything would be imperfect outside, hashtag Kunti, then the question is, how are we directing our thoughts and how do we express our love? Because everyone can sit in the corner in the room and say, God, I love you, and continue praying. No, but we have to express that love, and to express that love is to the service. The strength and the great degree of that love, it will reveal itself by how persistent we are in the service and how much games and leelas we survive. Funny anecdote this morning, I came and dressed the deity and everything was knotty. Like the jewelry, it was knotted into each other, and that's like, what it never happened. Like, it's so knotty, like, and in the darkness I could hardly disentangle the jewelry, and it took me like 5 minutes to sort out the small 2 pieces of jewelry to hang on the small deities. So it disentangled thing. And then I took off the pyjama and there was a knot. And it was simple, but it was so difficult to just open the knot. You know? And then I have a lingam of Guruji, and actually, like, this lingam, I always wondered what it's for. And I never asked, but the lingam, at several occasions, it fell down. So again, this morning, it fell down. And you have wood here, but you have marble stone there. So again, it like jumped out, and it fell on the floor, and I always saw it broken. And it did not break. Like, even in Vitaldam, I carried it one time across the street, 2 meters over the street. It fell down on the road. And I thought, finished, you know. It didn't break. So what I want to say with this is, doing the seva, it will test where we break. Doing the seva, it shows how naughty things can be in the end. It's just about showing how we love him, showing how we try, showing how we make the effort, and then it will disentangle. So seva is really about that. And let's say in sanghas, where is now fresh, for example, Vitaldam, and other ashrams, is wherever is a new ashram, we discover, seva and sangha is not always nice. Seva and sangha can be challenging, yeah, and that's exactly the thing. So I think in the end we don't break. In the end, all the knots, they will be disentangled, but we have to stay in. Yeah, we have to always go back into the sangha, into the community. You always have to somehow stay connected to whatever seva you do. If it is a big thing, if it is a small thing, if it is a management thing, if it's a toilet cleaning thing, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. The third point would be celebration. And I mean, we've just celebrated here 9 divine nights, and it's been awesome. But it's also, let's say, to cast out any fears, any depressive moods that we normally carry. Because with God, we want God because it's pure love. We want God because it's pure happiness. But then when we are commanded to actually leave our unhappinesses behind, to leave our depressions behind, to leave our doubts behind, and just celebrate life as it flows with the Lord. It cannot be better demonstrated than what we have done now 9 continuous nights. You just go in, you celebrate, God will do the rest. It's so much more effective to try to transform to be a positive person, and God will bless the effort. Rather than, again, remaining in our old stories and patterns to say, I need to fix problem A. I need to fix problem B. I need to fix problem, the list may be long. And then we call God for each single problem. It's not what it means to be in bhakti. What it means and what he has shown is, if we celebrate, you can celebrate when you have the focus right. So to be a Hari Bhakta who is living in Hari Bhakta Sampradaya, we got to have the focus on Hari, right? But if the focus is there, we could almost daringly say, then if the focus is really there, you have attained him. There's no fear to be left out. When you have really established his divine feet in your mind, when you are worshipping it with the Mula Mantra daily, and when you always remember him throughout your normal days, we could daringly say, you have attained him. We have attained God. And then God would come and say, okay, but now what? And Guruji actually says the same. Now what? You have attained him, now what? And then, coming from our old samskaras, we would think, well, we have attained God, and now we can sit peacefully in the corner. And that's why I'm iterating this point of celebration. We have to get to know who is God, who is Krishna. He's not only a person, but he seems to be always in a celebrating mood, because he's celebrating his own creation. So if we are not in a celebrating mood, we like to be party poopers, and we say, no, I stay in my room, I don't want to go with life, then I think it's also not really what he means, and it's not really what he likes. So that's, let's say, all embodied in this amazing thing called Bhakti Marga. And I think just staying to Bhakti Marga, stick to whatever opportunity Bhakti Marga is giving you, we will develop these 3 things. Like an isolated person can become a Sangha person. A Sangha person can become an even better Sangha person. Somebody who dislikes service, who's lazy, they will learn how to serve. Somebody who is already active and who is already working towards the Lord, they will learn to become excellent service. Uttama Guru Bhaktas. And those who like celebrating, they will see the divine essence of celebration, that you can celebrate, just not for the sake of party, but for actually, if you build it upon the right focus, what else is there to do rather than only celebrate? So I think this is it. I think these ingredients are enough. And if we think more things are required, I think then maybe we are off. Because if you do a lot of other things, but you are disregarding Sangha, Seva and celebration, then we are not really on the Bhakti path. Because Guruji is showing something to us, which is a culture from far away. This is the culture of Vaikuntha. This is the culture of bliss that is inherent inside. So we're coming because we're attracted by that bliss. But if we don't jump on the train to actually say, okay, I'm not blissful yet, but you throw yourself back into the Sangha, you throw yourself back into the Seva, and you do your best to attend the celebrations, then we are on a good path. Jai Gurudev.
Vishwananda Gurudev. Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatindraya Karunakaraya Mangala Mangala Me Yatindraya Karunakaraya Mangala Mangala Me Prabhasitane Karataya Mangala Mangala Me Prabhasitane Karataya Mangala Mangala Me Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Sharirama Pratisthitaya Mangala Mangala Me Sharirama Pratisthitaya Mangala Mangala Me Nirandadari Gopalaya Mangala Mangala Me Nirandadari Gopalaya Mangala Mangala Me Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Ragesa Kankarataya Mangala Mangala Me Ragesa Kankarataya Mangala Mangala Me Maranataya Dharirare Mangala Mangala Me Maranataya Dharirare Mangala Mangala Me Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Ramanuja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Yatiraja Ramanuja Mangala Mangala Me Mangala Mangala Me Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Bhakta Janon ke chant karta Bhakta Janon ke chant karta Jana mein dura kare Om Jai Jagadish Hare Jo jahe pala paave Dukha bina se manaka Swami dukha bina se manaka Sukha sampatti karave Sukha sampatti karave Kashta nidetanaka Om Jai Jagadish Hare Mata Pita तुम मेरे शरण गाँव में किसकी स्वामी शरण गाँव में किसकी तुम बिना और न दूजा तुम बिना और न दूजा आशा करो मैं किसकी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा तुम अंतर्यामी स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी पर ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पर ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी कृपा करो वरदा ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम हो एका गोचर सबके प्राणपति स्वामी सबके प्राणपति किसा वीर गिरियों दयामय किसा वीर गिरियों कृपामय तुमको मैं घुमती ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जमानो दुख हरता तुम्हारा रक्षक मेरे स्वामी तुम्हारा रक्षक मेरे करुणा हाथ बजाओ करुणा हाथ बजाओ शरण पदा तेरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे विषय विकार मिटाओ Jana mana dana sabale tera, Swami saba kucha hai tera, Swami saba kucha hai tera, tera tujhko arpana, tera tujhko arpana, kya lage mera. Om Jai Jagadish Hare, Om Jai Jagadish Hare, Swami Jai Jagadish Hare. Bhakta Janon ke saath karta, Dasa Janon ke saath karta, Jana mein dur kare. Om Jai Jagadish Hare, Mane chakre rakho ji, Giridhari lala chakre rakho ji, Giridhari lala chakre rakho ji, Giridhari lala chakre rakho ji, Mane chakre rakho ji, Giridhari lala chakre rakho ji, Giridhari lala chakre rakho ji, Giridhari lala chakre rakho ji. Chakre rakho, chakre rakho, chakre rakho ji. Chakre rakho, chakre rakho, chakre rakho ji. Mane chakre rakho ji, Giridhari lala chakre rakho ji. Shama mane chakre rakho ji, Giridhari lala chakre rakho ji. Govinda mane chakre rakho ji, Giridhari lala chakre rakho ji, Giridhari lala chakre rakho ji, Giridhari lala chakre rakho ji. Tvameva mata pita tvameva, Tvameva bandusha sakha tvameva, Tvameva vidya nevidam tvameva, Tvameva sarva mama deva deva, Tvameva sarva mama deva deva. Asatoma sadgamaya, Tamasoma jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Hari Om.
Sri Bhutabhrteshwarnath Bhagavan ki, Sri Bhutabhrteshwarnath Bhagavan ki, Shri Radha Krishna Kankayalan ki, Mahavatara Kriya Babush ki, Shri Madhuracharya ki, Sri Bhutabhrteshwarnath Sri Swami Vishwananda Mahaprabhu ki. Om Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Jalabhaya Parama Purushaya Parakarma Mantra Yantra Tantra Ushatra Shastrani Santra Santra Mritso Mricha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshana Zipti Jvala Perdai Suvati Shakana Pupan Parasamai Paravarvane Paramidishe Sva. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Hari Om. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Shyam.